One love to the humble, one love to the humble, one love to the humble. May grace and peace be multiplied unto you. I got a video request from the good brother Trey Day, and this request is pertaining to the situation down in South Carolina with the Rick Chow situation and the kid that was unalived by Rick Chow. So man, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is this right here. Um, Racial issues always is big money in racial issues. Okay, it brings a lot of views. It always has brought views. There's a lot of money to be made in racial division. And be clear on that. There's a lot of money to be made in racial division. And a lot of things, a lot of times, we don't quite understand how this thing works. It's a game that's being ran. I mean, I'm just gonna be real, man. It's a game that's being ran on the people. In 2026, there's no reason for a racial divide in 2026. No reason. We're keeping this thing alive just based on it's the one up thing. Like, it's always gonna be a one up. It's still hatred from a long time ago. It's still festering around right now. And both sides are guilty of it. Not just black, not just white. Black and white are both guilty of this stuff. And it has to stop. I mean, people are really, instead of looking at us as we're just people living on the planet, we're separated by different things that don't really matter at the end of the day. One thing I can guarantee you this. Every last one of us is going to get the same, what, not the same, but we all going to this, we all going to meet the same fate at the end. Everybody got to get either cremated or buried. That's it. What does any of this matter? All this division. What does it matter? What causes are we really truly fighting for at this point in life? What are we really truly fighting for? More separation, more division, more problems, more hatred, more anger. You staying angry all the time. You have unforgiveness in your heart. You're always mad about a situation that arises. It ain't doing you no good. You're not changing anything by continuing on this cycle of nonsense. It's not helping the situations at all that we're experiencing. So let me get to the case with Rick Chow. I don't know the full story on the case. I read some articles. That's all I got. I wasn't in the courtroom. I definitely was not there on the scene. I'm just going by what I read. And according to the reading, this guy, well, I saw a video on it and what I read. The video, the guy that was telling me about the video is where the kid came in the store with a book bag and he was stayed in the store like 20 minutes, wasn't really buying anything. He's picking stuff up, putting it back on the shelf, picking stuff up, putting it back on the shelf. Right? That's what he was doing. Now, if you own a store, you're a business owner, you see something like that happening, you're gonna be like suspicious of what could be possibly going on. You're gonna be suspicious of it, right? So I guess they checked on it or whatever, and they got into some type of altercation, and so the kid ran. But what I understand, the way the article was written up, which I don't trust, the way articles are written up, I can't trust that. You can only go by the facts, and the article don't necessarily tell the facts all the time. Anyway, they said the kid was running and he was chasing him down because he threatened his son or whatever. The guy Rick Chow was chasing the kid down because the kid threatened his son, and in the process of that, supposedly the gun fell out of his book bag and he shot him. Now, let's just think about things from a common sense perspective. First of all, my condolences go out to the kid's family because that's a tragic situation to lose your son. over something like this. My deepest condolences go out to his family. I have no dog in this fight. I don't take either side. I'm just going by my common sense. If you run it with if you got your book bag on and you run the book bag properly, the book bag is zipped up. If you have a weapon inside, it's not gonna fall out. It ain't gonna fall out. Every one of you that has something inside of a book bag that was zipped up, it don't fall out if it's zipped up. Okay, maybe if it's unzipped, it might fall out. What reason would your book bag be unzipped with a gun in it if you're not gonna use it? Why would the book bag be unzipped? You don't walk around with a gun in your book bag unzipped. No, you just don't, unless you plan on needing quick access to it to pull it out and use it. In that case, you wouldn't even put it in a book bag. I mean, I wouldn't. But I'm planning on using it. But if I need it, I ain't gonna put it inside of a book bag. I'm gonna have it somewhere where I can grab it real quick. Or the other scenario is he had it out when he was running with it. He was running, trying to fire it, and dropped it. That's another scenario. But who knows anything about if this scenario is true or not? We don't know unless we was there and the witnesses was there. If you was in the courtroom, you would probably hear more about actual facts than what the media is telling you. And that's another thing that we as black people got to stop doing is getting it, being FBI agents on based off information we heard online. If you was not there, you was not in the courtroom to hear what they were saying, then you don't know the full you don't know all the information on the case because they don't tell you all of these things. A media person, a journalist writing an article, don't really know what they're talking about. They just going off of hearsay. Also, you don't get the full story until you go in the courtroom, and then when you go in the courtroom, if they've been pushing a certain narrative, they never gonna tell you if they was wrong. They never gonna tell you they was wrong because it's too much money in uh in racial issues. You're getting you riled up. You get both sides riled up, and that's what they're pushing for. And it's getting worse and worse and worse by the minute. These cases hit the news like it's the first time something like this has ever happened. That's how these things hit the headlines, and they push people overboard. In 100 years from now, 20 years from now, 30, about 40 years from now, they're gonna think that this time was just like slavery because they're gonna just read the headlines. They're gonna come up with their imagination of what they thought it was like when it wasn't like that. The same way we do today when we think about the Jim Crow era, because we see pictures and imagery, and it give us this idea of what it probably was like, and it probably wasn't like none of that unless you was there. But anyway, if you're sitting in the courtroom and you're hearing all the facts of the story, then that's why you choose either guilty or not guilty. No person is going to just say guilty because they're black. They're looking at the facts. Because, I mean, nobody in that courtroom would go for that. If you heard the facts on the table and just say, oh, you know what? Let's just say not guilty. I'm not saying that will ever happen, but that's not likely to happen regardless of the color of the jury. It doesn't matter. I mean, certain things are just cut and dry, point blank right in your face. And we do too much in our community that make it hard for us to get through things because we too busy supporting criminals. We are the only community that will support a criminal. Now I understand the criminals are supporting criminals, but we have people that's not even criminals willing to support criminals. Craziness. This is the things we do. This guy murdered someone, and he getting our full support. I even saw. I don't know if it's true or not. I saw a whole article talking about Boosie, the rapper, sent $500,000 to his family, to the guy who was going to prison, his family. Why does he need? Why does his family need $500,000? It's there with their child just unalive someone. There's plenty young black positive people out here doing a good thing every single day. Ain't never been in trouble. Ain't never gonna get in trouble. Trying their best, doing their hardest, making straight A's in school, doing the right thing, not in the streets. Nobody seems to pick them out and give them 500,000. but we're gonna support a criminal. That's how backwards our community is. And people support this and will get mad at you for calling it out. This is how backwards we are in our community. This is how our thinking is screwed up. $500,000 to a person who is unalive somebody when there's a kid somewhere right now just barely making it every day, but going to school, working hard, staying out of trouble, doing what's right, doing what he's told to do, being respectful, trying to go to college, or even in college, trying to go to college, trying to pay for college, could really use money like that. From my understanding, people sent money to his kids, GoFundMe, his parents spent it on other things. I'm not surprised, because that's what we do as black people. But we want support. But we support the wrong people. Them people don't deserve no support. Let's keep it real. They're not living the right way. But we got kids out here who live the right way who can't get nothing, who can't get anything. And nobody even talks about them. They don't even exist. But here we are, willing to support a criminal. And we'll call somebody, another black person, out their name because they're not willing to support criminals. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this case is what it is. It is what it is, man. This happened. He took somebody's life. And they try to say it was self-defense. They had a track meet. You had a track meet, man. What you doing with a knife at a track meet? But we're gonna keep supporting it. And we ain't gonna stop. We done got into this support criminal mindset, and that's what we do. That's what we do. We gotta stop doing it. These people don't deserve anything but prison time. That's what they deserve. And if you're gonna support stuff like that, man, something wrong with you. That's all I can tell you, man. Let's do better, people. Let's do better. We gotta do better than this, man. This don't make no sense. Y'all take care.